Hey everyone, welcome back. So here we have the Galaxy Z Flip 6 in the color peach. I did pre-order this from Samsung's website during their pre-order phase. So let's go ahead and do an unboxing and get this phone set up. So I did get the peach color, which is an exclusive on Samsung's website. So in person, it looks really nice. Unlike the other colors that have like the side details the same color, Samsung for some reason went with a silver versus like a light peach. I would have preferred a light peach here, but I still think overall it's nice. So here it is. So we have the flat sides, which are matte, which I do like. The Z Flip 5 did have a shine to the finish, which I didn't love, but it is what it is. I'll be honest, when I got the Z Flip 5, I did love it. I did end up returning it, so I only had it for about a month or two. I do anticipate keeping this one, but I will say, even though I returned the Z Flip 5, I really did miss it and wanted to buy it again so many times, but just decided to wait for this one. So I will hopefully just be keeping this one until next year. Before I turn it on, let's see what's in the box, even though we already know it's the same thing every year. We have your quick start guide and a USB-C to USB-C cable. To no surprise, no charger in the box, but we also get a SIM ejection tool. Okay, so let's turn it on. So as introduced on the Z Flip 5, we have this larger cover screen, but not much has changed since last year. The cover display is still your 3.4-inch Super AMOLED display. We're still looking at a 60 Hz adapted refresh rate. So the 60 Hz should be fine to see like your average notifications and things like that, but don't expect to be watching any videos or anything crazy on there, as you will only have 60 Hz. The external nits, we still have 1600 nits of peak brightness. So again, that's unchanged. Literally nothing has changed with this outer display. However, for the camera housing, I don't even know how to explain it. We have like this outer ring to it. Now, again, I have the peach, but the sides are silver, so naturally the camera housing is silver. So if you get another color like the mint, for example, the edges will be mint as well as the camera housing will be mint. So everything will match for whatever reason. The peach one is just in its own little bubble and gets its own color. So let's get this set up. Okay, and when setting up, we get this notice of taking care of your phone. So if you've never had a foldable, just know pressing on the screen on the front camera lens with a hard or sharp object such as a pen or fingernail may cause damage. When you fold the phone, obviously make sure there's nothing on the screen when you're folding it. This phone is not dust resistant, so exposure to small particles such as sand will cause damage. The phone is water resistant. However, immersion in any liquid other than fresh water, such as salt water or alcohol, can damage your phone. Don't remove the protective film on the main screen or apply other films or stickers, as doing so can damage the screen. And your phone contains magnets, so keep away from credit cards and devices that may be affected by magnets and at least 6 inches away from medical devices. There's a general PSA there. So I just set this one up as a new device. To be honest, I do not like this navigation bar, so I'm quickly going to change that real quick. So when you go to the settings, we'll go to display, scroll down to see navigation bar, and we are switching that to swipe gestures. So that navigation bar goes away, and now we can swipe back. All right. There we go. So basically set up, I did not restore it from another backup or anything like that. I may do so later, but we can just take a look at everything here. So unchanged is the fingerprint sensor. So that is on the side. So we'll go ahead and register my finger now. Okay, so we'll just do that one. So for the inner display, not much has changed here. We have a 6.7 dynamic AMOLED 2x Infinity Flex display. We do get full HD plus 120 Hertz adaptive refresh rate. The only difference on the screen is that last year we had 1750 nits of peak brightness, and this year we have 2600 nits of peak brightness. So what that means is if you have auto brightness enabled, if you're using the device outdoors in bright conditions, the screen is obviously just going to get brighter to allow you to see in those brighter conditions, but that will only happen if you have the adaptive brightness enabled. There's no way for you to just manually get to 2600 nits. So just keep that in mind. If you find yourself outdoors and it's not getting too bright, try enabling adaptive brightness and you'll probably see a difference. We can change the front cover screen. We can swipe down to see different designs. So here are the preset ones. You can open your phone to see more, but we'll just leave it at that default. And I guess now the widgets are smaller where you can have more than one widget on a screen. I don't think that you could have done that with the Z Flip 5, but we have a little bit more flexibility with that. So although we have more widgets this year natively, we will still need to download GoodLock in order to give you more access to other applications. So let me show you how to do that. So we'll go to the Galaxy Store. We'll search GoodLock. It's going to be this first one. Okay, so once we're in GoodLock, we want to look for multi-star, and it's going to be under Life Up. So when you first open it, it'll be under Makeup. Click Life Up. We'll install multi-star. Once we have that installed, we'll click on it, and here at the top it says I Heart Galaxy Foldable. We'll click Launcher Widget. And so basically these are all the apps that you can select to be used with the launcher widget. I obviously don't have much going on here because I did not back up this device. I don't have any of my own apps, but we'll just click Netflix. And so once we have that selected, go back to the cover screen, hit Add Widget, scroll all the way to the end, and we will see GoodLock. So now we see Netflix. So I'm just going to select something really quick to play. So me personally, I wouldn't be watching anything on this cover screen, but this just kind of shows you that you can unlock other apps to add as widgets. So that's cool. It's just unfortunate that Samsung does not offer that right out of the gate. You do have to download GoodLock for that, which is on the Samsung Galaxy Store. So it is not a sketchy app by any means. It's perfectly safe. There's a lot more that you can do inside GoodLock. So if you've never used it, I'd recommend downloading it. You can go into like a deep dive and spend hours just trying to figure everything out. But again, that's unchanged. If you are coming from the Z Flip 5, this is going to be the exact same experience. Nothing different there. Now, if you have a Z Flip 5, I wouldn't necessarily recommend upgrading to the Z Flip 6 since, again, I've said it a couple times now, there's not much changed. I mean, one thing that is a benefit on the Flip 5 is we now have a vapor chamber for better cooling. The Flip 5 did not have that at all. So if you are going to be playing some games or things like that, you are going to have a cooler experience on this. Now, would I purchase this phone as like a heavy mobile gaming device? No, I wouldn't. But if you do use it for such, it is going to give you a better experience on the Flip 6 versus the Flip 5. Also, another thing that I just remembered is the RAM. Okay, so on the Flip 6, we are getting 12 gigabytes of RAM, where we were getting 8 gigabytes on the Flip 5. So this is a little bit more future-proofed, especially considering that we are getting some AI on Samsung phones now. So it's just gonna better handle those AI features and just give you that longevity for future-proofing. So with that, we are getting 7 years of updates versus the 4, which is another added bonus if you want to keep the phone long-term. Now, the Flip 6 is the first Samsung flip phone certified for dust protection. Well, kind of. So the Flip 6 is rated with an IP48 versus the IPX8 previously. So the number 4 stands for protection against particles sized over 1 millimeter, which is larger than most dust particles, and the number 8 stands for it being able to survive a drop in the water up to 1.5 meters deep. So as we saw, Samsung gave us the usual warning of the phone is not recommended for beach or pool use and warns that water protection will diminish over time as the device ages. That also is true for all phones. They will diminish over time, but for fold specifically, I wouldn't take this to the beach. Where we do have dust protection on the Flip 6, where we did not on the Flip 5, that is a step forward, but you are not protected against tiny particles like sand and things like that. But overall, we are getting a little bit more protection in this series of foldables, which is nice to see. One other change is going to be the main camera. Samsung did bump up the specs to the main camera to 50 megapixels. In reality, you get pixel bin images of around 12 megapixels in size, but with cleaner detail in low light. So it is going to be a slight improvement from last year. You can also shoot full res 50 megapixels photos as an option if you choose so, but I feel like most people are just going to use their camera for quick photo ops and nothing crazy. So even though they are binned to 12 megapixels in size, you should get good photos out of this camera. And since we do have the newer Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processing alone, we should see better pictures coming out of the Flip 6 versus the Flip 5. I wouldn't say the cameras are too crazy here, but should be good for the average consumer who is most likely just using their camera to snap memories and things like that and post images to social media, then I think this will be fine. But again, if you have the Z Flip 5, I personally wouldn't upgrade to the Z Flip 6. I would maybe hold out another year to see what Samsung does with the Z Flip 7, since we've seen a trend of Samsung kind of doing these small refinements year over year on their smartphones. I think phones kind of have peaked where they're all great. I know foldables are still new territory, but Samsung being on the 6th generation have made improvements along the way, which is definitely good to see. You know, obviously last year we saw kind of a big jump with the screen coming from the 4 to the 5, but I think moving forward for a little bit at least, we'll just see these refinements year over year, which I do appreciate. I'd rather continue in an upward trend than not. Just know you're not missing out if you have a previous Z Flip 5. Still a great phone. But that's going to wrap up this unboxing of the Samsung Z Flip 6. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Are you going to be upgrading to the Z Flip 6? If you are, what phone are you coming from? Let me know if you're new to the foldable market, what you think so far. And of course, if you enjoyed this unboxing, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tech-related content. But until next time, stay tech savvy, and I'll see you in the next one.